The following podcast is recommended for mature audiences only. The following podcast is recommended for adults only. Maturity is not a requirement.
Hello and welcome to episode 62 of Dear Download, a podcast about Download Festival, music and the industry, and all other news related to heavy metal. I'm Adam, and as always, I'm here with Simon. How you doing, my man?
Hello and good day to you, sir.
We also have another guest with us. Simon, you have an intro, so do you want to introduce our guest?
I will do the introduction, yes. As sure as you can see from the name of this episode, you will know who this is, but I will introduce him anyway. So today's guest is not only the lead singer of the incredible band In Search of Sun, he is also a rising director and writer involved in the making of music videos for such bands as Sleep Token, Airborne, just to name a few, a whole host of others. This man also has 2 films under his belt so far, Hosts that came out in 2020 and Feed Me that came out in 2022. He is legitimately one of the most hard-working and most talented people that I have ever had the privilege of knowing. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Adam Leader.
Woo.
What's going on, man? What's going on? Sorry, I was, for the purpose of the video, I was holding an ankle sock packet in the air because that's what me and Simon used to do. We just hold things up and demonstrate them. But yeah, man, thank you for having me, man. It's great to be back, and it's just nice to just talk. Thank you. And thank you for the very kind introduction.
It was all lies, but I'm
Yeah, I
glad
know.
you enjoyed it. Yeah, it was all I just made it up. Just everything on there, reverse it, and that's actually the truth.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I don't do anything. I just sit here and procrastinate like a bug.
He just sits and vapes directly into his Mac. That's just what he does.
That's exactly what I do.
So any long-term listeners or anybody who has come across us and then decided to go back to the beginning to listen from the beginning again will know that we've had Adam Leader on before a long time ago. Like I said, this is episode 62. Adam Leader was on episode 4 originally. So
Wow, was it 4?
Episode number 4 that you came on.
Yeah, that long ago.
Yeah, and then we did a special episode about In Search of Sun. I don't remember what number that was or what numbers it was between, but that was still a while ago, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a while, yeah. That was when you released Fire I Play With, and we done a special on the band and the single, and we played the single, but even that feels like ages ago.
Yes, now. I do remember. Well, that was a strange time, man, because that was literally in the midst of COVID. So I think that was, we released that, I think, in 2021. So yeah, literally 2 years. No, 2022. No, 2022. Sorry,
it was 2022. Yeah, because we weren't doing the podcast properly in 2021. So.
It was literally around this time, or maybe February or March time. So it was almost 2 years ago. Damn, time really has flown.
It really has. That is mad. I love that video, by the way.
Yeah, I do.
It's so much fun. Whenever I show it to people, they're always like, "This video is so just." Great and different and interesting, and I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. Such a great idea for a music video.
Oh, I'm glad people dig it, man. That was probably one of the hardest shoots possible, because there was so much planning before it, and then
I bet
it was just mad, 48 hours, literally, not 2 days, 2 working days. It was pretty much 2 full 24-hour periods, back to back over the weekend, just going around London and doing all these things and setting up shots and then coming back, and then I was the one to edit it. The editing was quite fun, actually, but it was a big old project. We actually just shot our newest music video 2 days ago. Yeah,
we'll get there. Don't worry. I've got to ask you about new stuff coming in a bit, so hold off on talking about that for now.
I was assuming we'd get a preview and we'd be able to talk about it like professionals have, they're allowed to look at stuff in advance and then tell people how amazing
I can send
it.
I can send it to you if you want, man. It's pretty bonkers. But yeah, we can talk about it later. That's fine.
Yeah, sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, but that I do that Fire I Play With, literally when we saw you in Bournemouth, Like, I haven't heard you guys play that song live, but that was definitely one of my favorites. Like, it's just such a great song, and singing along to it so easy. Like live, I was literally just like, I fucking love this song so much. Like, it's such a tune.
Thank you, man. That's nice to hear. It was it was a bit of a risk, actually. You know, like the whole. You know, that like you guys have been in bands before, that the whole like, should we try and get the crowd to sing? Should we do it? Because you never know. Like, especially when you're up and coming and no one really cares. Like you're just there to try and push your own band, and like I'm like, oh god, I want to get the people to sing along on this, and it worked on every show. It actually worked. So that was a big but awesome. I was scared that no one would. So yeah,
I was gutted. I missed half of that. I decided to go to the bar. That's probably my favourite song of yours. And I was like,
cool.
Do you know what? I can go to the bar now. And I came back into the room, and you were like halfway through it, and I was so annoyed.
Nah, don't worry, man. You got there for the better half.
Can I also say as though, what sort of a douchebag just leaves halfway through the set?
Well, I wanted another beer.
Who does that? Who does that?
That's what playing with fire.
You con your mate into getting you the beer, and you stay and watch the band. Because that's what I done.
Who, me?
Thank you both for coming, by the way. It was.
My head. Sorry.
That's all right. No, I was just saying thanks for coming to the show, man. It was really, really nice to see you both in the and Bondi as well, Simon's brother. For those listening, just being there in the crowd, it was very nice and nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good. It was a great gig as well. We really loved it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So,
Brilliante.
Well, should we talk a little bit about that? Because that was, go on.
Yeah, let's talk about the gig. How, because we'll talk about the upcoming tour, but how was the last tour for you? And has that made you more excited to do the one coming this year?
100%, man. Like that tour was everything, to be honest. That was the icing on the cake to almost an entire year's worth of, honestly, like day to day, like constant work, man, like rebuilding the band post COVID, so to speak, and trying to get back some sort of buzz about us again. And there's, you know, as you guys know, there's so much involved in doing that. And like the tour was just, we booked a comeback show, a London comeback show in July of last year, which again was like, is anyone going to turn up for this? And we ended up like selling it out. It was crazy, man. And after that, I was just sat here, and we were all in agreement of like, we have to try and get a tour. Like we have to keep busy. We got to do something. We want to keep momentum going. So I see that Scarlet Riot had announced these dates. I'm like, man, I've been trying to get on a bill with them for a long time. So I hounded those motherfuckers, man. I hounded them until we got no. But then, you know, I didn't need to hound them, but turns out that the stars aligned, so to speak, and they offered us the tour, and it was amazing, man. It was so cool, and going out and playing to their fans who really seemed to dig us as well, which we weren't sure if that was going to happen, but they did. It was great, man. It was so good. Sold out shows every night, thanks to Scarlet Riot, but sold out shows every night, and it was just brilliant, man. So it was almost life-saving to be able to get back on stage again and just do it.
Yeah, nice. And then, of course, that led on to now you guys have got your own tour coming this year. So are you excited about that? Nervous and excited? But like you said, so many people were digging it last time. I think it's going to be really good. I think that as well, it all depends on venues. You know venues very well because you played a lot of them. So you would have known which ones you guys had your eyes on that you really wanted to play. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, there's a couple on this upcoming run that we haven't played yet, and it's cities that we haven't even hit. That is really nerve-wracking. I mean, the whole thing is nerve-wracking because we're the headliners for this, and it's the first headline tour we've done, and the responsibility of everything lies on you as the headliner. And there are certain cities that we haven't hit yet, but we can see that we're quite popular on Spotify in those cities. So we thought, well, let's hit them and let's go and play them and do it, man, and break the cherry of these places that we haven't been in, well, forever. So yeah. I'm excited. I'm nervous as well. I'll probably get more excited closer to the time, but right now I'm nervous because there's so much stuff that needs to be done.
So that's really cool that you can see those stats on Spotify and work out where to go from there.
It's amazing. It's such a good tool, man. You can literally look at like where your streams are coming from, like where in the world, which countries, which cities, which towns, like what time of day. It's just amazing. It's so cool. So cool.
Yeah, and that's Spotify for artists, right? So that's the Spotify behind Spotify, which has all the data. Yeah. Nice. Very cool. Man. Very cool. That leads on to, obviously, there has been rumblings around that, you guys have done stuff, but I know that we were talking before that you will be releasing an EP at some point. Is there anything you can tell us about that at all? I can't confirm a date just yet, but before the tour, we will be releasing a new EP. There'll be some songs on there that people know because it's kind of the period in which we released the Fire I Play With, for example, will be on there, but there's a few more on there that people don't know. We will be doing a very limited run of vinyls, signed vinyls for it as well, and some other merchandise, of course. But yeah, limited run of vinyls, and it will be out before the tour. And we just literally shot the music video for the next single. Nice. On
this record, man, and it's just bonkers. It's so ridiculous, and I love it because it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. Have you got a release date on the single?
All I can say at the moment is that it will probably be around early March. I think that this single will be coming out, so not too far away. I just finished the edit as well today, or at least the first pass, and I'm gonna send it to you guys so you can check it out. It's so stupid. Yeah. It's just so stupid.
But
awesome.
Yeah, well, if you finish the edit, there's nothing stopping you from releasing it tomorrow, right? I mean, you could. you could.
I could. No, but I'm not gonna.
No. But I mean, everything has to be planned for this kind of thing. I mean, I'm probably going completely off of what Simon had written down for this bit, but we spoke a little bit a while ago. But yeah, you have to plan everything so precisely and go right. So this single will be released on this date, and then it has to be no more than 2 weeks later or something. Have you found that? I don't know where I'm going with this now. You look so.
I know where you're going with it. Like basically having a strategy.
Yeah.
And that's where all the work comes into it, man, because it really is just constantly, especially in the time that we live in now, like it's constant content creation. You have to be doing stuff all the time. And if you haven't got anything to release, you need to be putting stuff out that you've done before, and you can recycle it as either a reel or a post or whatever, or a picture. But once you do have something, and this is like where we've made this mistake in the past, and I think every band does it. You make an album or you make an EP or you do a tour and you're like, man, yeah, this is it. You don't even think about post-tour album or whatever it is you're putting out. But then when that happens and you do it, you get back and you realize well, we've just lost momentum. Like you have to always be planning ahead. So now, like people know what's happening, like, or fans of In Search of Sun, all three of them, they know what's happening between now and May, but we know what's happening all the way up until the end of 2024, to the point where we're already planning 2025. You've got to constantly be on the ball with it and be planning things. Otherwise you will just lose momentum.
Yeah, you see bands doing that, don't you? Just playing, and I think that's why. Excuse me. I think that's why EPs have worked so well for bands in recent times, rather than albums. It seems like you can put out, less is more sometimes, because why would you put out a 12 song album when that can be 3 EPs? So that album, you could technically spread that album out over like a whole year or a year and a half or 2 years. Rather than doing those 12 songs, you can, release 2 singles, then release the EP. Release a single, EP. You could do it any way you want. But I think that's why EPs have worked so well for bands. Like some bands, like we were talking before about, excuse me, bands like Wargasm and other bands like that. They don't even have an album. These bands are huge. They've just released singles. They don't even release an EP. They just put singles out. And they've got absolutely massive, like They don't even have an album. When was that ever a thing in the music industry? Getting big, but you haven't ever made an album, which is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, just it's more important to be active and to stay, I hate this word, but to stay relevant, you know, and to do that, like the single releasing strategy is so much more beneficial, I think, for bands these days, because, you know, who gives a shit about waiting 2 years? You know, you release an album, look, cool, you know, 2 more years until the next album because there's so much involved, but you can cut that production and planning time down by, I don't know, 60% or whatever. If you're doing just a third of that, go, right, cool, we're going to do that. And it's just constant. You're constantly doing stuff. And I feel like people can really grow a lot quicker and have, in a weird way, have more stuff to push, because it makes you less, I think it brings on a level of more excitement about doing it because it's happening sooner, because you're able to get things done sooner, which means your brain, this is at least how I work anyway, your brain, your mind is in a more creative place, because you feel more excited about it, and thus you can make more content and you've got more ideas to do stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it's
all right, let's talk about music, but not talk about you. What albums or tunes or music have you been listening to lately? What have you been banging on? And don't just say Pantera.
Well, I might need a moment to think in that case. I've been really digging Bad Omens recently.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good.
I've also been listening to a lot of 90s garage, which, to be honest, I've never not done. So I've got like a playlist of like Craig David, Artful Dodger, all these things on my Spotify that I listen to. But yeah, a little bit of Bad Omens. I'm really getting into Slaughter to Prevail as well. I'm just obsessed at the moment, and I'm directing their next music video as well.
Oh, well.
Or I guess by the time this goes out, I could probably say that I've just directed their latest music video, because it's going to be on.
Oh, look at that.
This Friday, and I am
fucking hell
bricking it.
Oh my God. That's going to be sweet as hell, though. They are awesome.
Yeah. Oh, so you're actually doing it live this Friday, not it's being released this Friday. We're actually shooting and directing the video this Friday. Yeah. Nice.
Nice. That's exciting. Very exciting. Well, actually, that leads on to another question I've got, because a lot of like Sleep Token have got so massive since you guys worked with them. Like, that was literally at the point where they were just about to blow up, and now it's like that video alone has like nearly 10 million views, which is insane.
Hang on.
Like,
before you answer that, do you want to explain what that is? Because I can't be the only one who doesn't know.
Okay, so Leader was working with Dark Fable Media, and they done the video. What was this? Which song was it?
It was Alkaline.
Alkaline, which is easily one of their best songs as well. And they were working on it, and they released it. But this is like just before Sleep Token went boop. Like literally like a month later, that album came out, and everything went insane.
Nice.
So I just wanted to ask Leader, because everyone's so fascinated with Sleep Token, and, you know, there's a lot of hate, a lot of like, what was it like working with them? You probably can't give away a lot, but was it weird, or was it normal, or how did it go? Because no one to this day still, people do kind of know who they are, but they've got such a weird thing around the band.
Yeah, like it first of all, it was great. It was a really cool day, man. And that was one of the days actually that I didn't really do much shooting or production work. I was actually in the video. So like,
yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
I was more like in front of the camera for this one, which was weird. But it was great, man. You know, it was just the singer that was there because he was the only one in the video. But it was cool, man. He's a lovely guy. He's really cool. He's really fascinating. Like, we shot in this big like mansion kind of place. I actually almost died because there's this big shot, or I could have. There's this big shaft that, like a massive, like 50 to 60 foot drop that goes all the way underground, and we had to do this thing where we're the guys with guns, and we have to go up this rickety staircase, which was dangerous enough in itself. But then we had to kind of move across and like pointing our torches on our guns across. And as we moved across, I was backing up at one point, And I just hear the guys going, Adam, don't, no. I'm like, what? And I stopped. I looked behind me, and about three more feet away was this huge drop. I would have...
What?
Yeah, I honestly probably would have died that day. Or
Oh my God.
It's crazy. But it was a great shoot, man. And he's lovely. Really nice guy to talk to. Really hard worker. And he's just fascinated with everything. He was really fascinated with the architecture of this mansion and the history of it. It was it's cool. It's a good experience. And I got to shoot him as well.
Yeah, that is cool. That is very... Yeah, they're just this... I just can't believe how on the peak you guys were with that video, and then all of a sudden they just explode. And, they friggin' sold out, Wembley Arena, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? Like, completely sold it out. I saw them in 2018 at Download, and there was about 100 people there. So the difference is like crazy. It just shows you can blow up. Sticking with music before we move on to movies and stuff that you've done there. Me and you spoke about this at the gig in Bournemouth, but I want you to tell everyone how insane this is. How crazy is it that you are basically friends with someone in your favourite band of all time?
I don't know how much I can say on that. But he's not going to listen to this, or maybe
no. But I mean, like, okay, so basically, Leader has been a lifelong Pantera fan, and he has just loved them ever since I've known them. He showed videos of him when he was like 14, 15, drumming, Pantera shirt on. The guy has just loved them the whole time. Now he just texts people from Pantera like it's nothing.
I got another funny story about that.
How did you first get involved with, like, how the hell did you get someone's from Pantera's number and actually, like, they like you as well, which is insane.
That's the insane part, that they like me, because I'm not really a likable person. So, well, it's a funny story. It was 2015, around that time, 15, 16. No, it's 15. And as usual, I was sat going, how can I push the band? What can I do? What can I be doing behind the scenes to just push? And then I was like, well, I'm going to try and reach out to all the people that I love, all the people that inspired me, or just all my favorite artists. So I started doing that. I was that guy, and everyone knows that person. Hey, check out my band. But, I was doing that, and I found this individual. I was like, right, well, I'm going to message him, but I know that he's not going to reply because he's, practically a god to me. And I sent him our single on Facebook, and he goes, 20 minutes later, I get a ping. And I just thought, oh, who's that? Maybe it's Simon, or maybe it's one of my actual friends, but I looked at it and it was him. Said, hey man, this is cool. Is this your band? And I was like, yeah. He was like, great. So then we just started talking, and we just kind of kept in touch. I didn't want to be really annoying, so it was just the occasional, hey man, how are things going? And at the time he was writing a new record for his solo stuff that he was doing. And then we released our single for, do you remember we did a song called Elevation? Do you remember that? Yeah, we released that, and I sent it to him. I said, hey man, what do you think of this? And he loved it. He was like, dude, this is fucking amazing. I love this, man. And he shared it on Facebook, and it was crazy. And then he's like, dude, let's get on the phone. So then I run into the kitchen where my mum was. I was like, Mum, he's going to phone me. He's going to phone. I told her who it was. And so she was like, what's going on? and then I was like, right, I have to do this on my own. So like, I couldn't have her peeking her head in. So I ran downstairs to my car. He'd asked for my number. So I texted him it on Facebook, got to my car, and all of a sudden I see like, United States phone number, like calling me. I'm like, oh my God. And then we just chatted on the phone, and we were speaking for about 40 minutes just about music and stuff like that. And he was asking questions about my band, and I was asking him questions. And I was like, it was one of the most strange moments of my life, just talking to someone talking to one of four guys that are the entire reason I'm here doing what I do today. Like it was just insane, absolutely insane. And we're still friends to this day. I was lucky
Crazy.
enough to nab guest list for the Pantera in Amsterdam last year, which was just the best. Man. So yeah,
You thought about seeing if they want to sub for you on your next tour?
Yeah, they can sub for you.
yeah, man. Oh,
Does this mean that you're going to download this year then, at least for the day?
I'm gonna try if I can, but I'm assuming that they are coming here anyway and going to do a run of dates, which I would much prefer to see him in a venue anyway. So
okay, yeah, that's fair actually. I haven't heard anything about them doing a tour around it, but if it's a one-off, then we'll probably end up trying to get you to download. But yeah, like you said, if they do dates anywhere else, then yeah.
Well, we can still try and get them to download.
Try and get me to download it. I'd love to go.
Right, let's move on to films. So talk to me about Feed Me. Talk to me about, because last time we were talking about distribution, and you were getting it distributed into some other countries, I believe.
Yeah, we sold it. The first, I guess, sale that we made was selling the release rights to an American distributor, which was amazing because it was enough for us to pay our investors back, which was the main focus, and that was like a massive weight off our shoulders when we cut that deal. But also we sold it for enough to actually make a profit, which was great. So that's 2 films that we've done now. That it sounds a bit I don't know what the word, a bit vain or arrogant. I don't mean it to be, but there's 2 films now that have made a profit, which is really hard to do. So like it's cool, man.
That's not arrogant, dude. That's a huge accomplishment, especially with the way movies are made now. Like, making money on a movie is a massive accomplishment. It's not a boast. It's
okay, good. I'm glad. That's good then. I'm glad you think so. But yeah, super proud, man. And you know, when we made that sale to XYZ Films out in America, and that was for North American and Canada release rights. Yeah, we made enough from that to pay our investors back, and they all made a nice return, and we all made a bit of money. And then we got an amazing sales agent on board, because you don't want to be the one representing yourself all the time and having to basically making a sale and doing huge 20-page contracts and for every different country you sell to. But this sales agent we got, Priscilla at the Coven Films, she's just brilliant. She did. Have you seen the Terrifier films?
Yeah.
No.
She did them. She's the one that got them released. Nice. She's fantastic. So she's been selling to other territories on behalf of us, and she's just great. So good to work with, so lovely, and it's just nice. They're really hard to come by, people like her and people like XYZ Films, just transparent people in the industry. Just really great people. So yeah,
because you hear a lot of bad things about you hear a lot of bad things about the music industry. Because my next question to you was going to be, how was it transitioning from music industry into films? Because although they are similar in some ways, they both work very differently as well. So, because you hear bad things about both. You hear bad things about the music industry. Not so much anymore that people can sort of release their own stuff. I think probably more onus is on the film industry still being very difficult, and people just wanting to make money off other people and not really caring what happens to the product, etc.
You know what? I feel like they are very similar, even on the business side of things. Like even the music industry, you know, people at the top, labels, promoters, whatever, it's still all about money. You know, and for the film industry, again, distributors, whatever it is, or producers, like, okay, yeah, I'll give you money to make this film, but who's in it? You know, I need someone that's going to make me money. It's all about money, man. That's all they care about, these people. So that's why it's very difficult to, you know, if you're lucky enough to get your hands on a big budget, then you can afford to pay a named actor that it will make a distributor go, well, yeah, we're going to buy that. We'll give you X amount for that because we know people are going to watch it. Or you have to do it the complete opposite way, which is obviously how we started doing this, is making very low budget movies, but knowing how to make things look good on a shoestring budget, and making something for example, Feed Me cost us 40,000. It was a 40,000 investment, which is still a lot of money, like in our world. You know what I mean? It's a huge amount.
Hell of a lot of money.
And I was the guy that I was responsible for spending it and getting that invest. I was like, oh my God, I've never owned an account with this much cash in. It was crazy. We sold it and made, you know, over double what it costs to make the movie, and that so you can do it that way. And then as you do it that way, you slowly build. So next time, maybe, I'm pushing now to go and make my own movie just on my own, and potentially hopefully somewhere in the region of 100 to 120 grand. So each time you do that, you just build and build and build until eventually, in 562 years, you can make a movie for 5 million.
So you have been thinking about your own one then. You have been writing and coming up with ideas, I guess, and deciding on what you're actually going to do next.
Yeah, man. Like, I think from the last two, I've kind of learned or discovered that I really want to be a director in my own right, and that's kind of what I'm doing. So this next one, it's film number 3 for me, but it's technically film number 1 where I'm really doing it on my own, so to speak. So it's good, man. I'm excited for it. In terms of producing, I've got 2 producing partners with me. I've got Neil Ward, who was in Feed Me, and Samantha Loxley, who was also in Feed Me. We're producing it together, and I get to direct this myself, and it's a crazy idea. Very interesting. It's another horror movie. It's very interesting.
Nice.
But then there's another one in the works as well, which is not horror at all. It's like a bit of a romp of a semi-gangster comedy. It's just weird, man. But we'll see. So some very exciting stuff on the horizon.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's exciting. That's good, man. It's come a long way since me and you making funny horror movies in your garage.
You'll never beat those, man. Those were the best. They were the best.
I hear remake coming.
100%. 100%, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, if you want to make no money, definitely go that way.
I have all that footage. Did I tell you? I've got it all.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to watching it all. But yeah, what else was I going to ask? What are your plans for this year? Just doing stuff wise, then. Is there any gigs or anything else apart from possibly Pantera at Download that you're looking forward to, or anything else you've got your eye on, or is there anything else you're going to be working on apart from obviously the band and the tour this year?
That's taking up most of the year. Like, the band is pretty it's pretty heavy in terms of the workload and stuff. But aside from that, yes, film number 3. If everything happens in time, then we'll be shooting that next movie after the tour, because there'll be a small gap in between where the band aren't doing anything before the next thing we do at the end of the year. And there is a side project that I have, and that I know Simon knows about it, that I am doing something with that I can't really mention. But I'm just slowly. I don't know if you know, Adam. No. If you don't, then we'll fill you in. Okay. And you can edit it out.
I was just laughing that you mentioned it, and then you said, "Oh, I can't really mention it," but I'm mentioning it.
You'll understand why when we tell you.
Okay.
But
it's a well kept secret, listeners. You might find out one day, but at the moment. This is a secret for the inner sanctum only.
Bait.
Yeah.
Will you promise to come back
kind of a plan.
here when you're announcing it? Promise to come back here, because then then it's true wait bait. Because otherwise, people won't be waiting. They're just not here.
They won't.
Well, they will.
100%, man. I promise. But that's another thing on this year to just continue building that, because somehow it's done fairly well.
Yeah, it's doing really well. So okay, yeah. No one knows what we're laughing about, but if you knew, you would be like, this is insane.
I'm going to take a guess.
It might be revealed.
I won't be right, but
Go on,
are
take
you
a
actually
guess,
in Sleep Token as well?
No.
That's done fairly well, no. I guess.
God, you know what? It'd be great. I wish I was, but no, I don't have the time for that, man. It's already a full-time job working on In Search of Sun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you could play. You could play drums for Sleep Token, no problem.
That'd be fun. He's a good drummer. He's a very good drummer. That guy.
Very good drummer. Yeah, very good drummer.
Yeah.
Who?
Very
what
good.
What was his name? I'm not.
Drum man 5000.
Drum man 5000.
Yeah, man.
That's a new side project. There you go. You drum right on a kit, on an electric kit, and every single drum is sounds that aren't drum sounds. And you're called Drum Man 5000.
It's almost like Gleeter. Do you remember Gleeter, Simon?
I remember Gleeter. Yeah.
He's all right, man.
He's all right. He's done well for himself.
Yeah.
I'm just a Gleeter boy. Sorry. That was all of my questions. But Adam, do you have any others that you want to ask him that we can slot into this episode?
Oh, bugger me! I wasn't expecting. I thought you were going to keep going.
Well, I mean, we've this has been once this is cut up, this is going to be a great one because we've spoke about so much shit.
I had some questions as we were going, but they've all gone now.
It's all good, man. Don't worry about it. We could speak about, external hard drives.
Oh, actually, here we go. This is a good one. I was going to ask you as well. Actually, I forgot to ask you this in the film one. What are you still? Because obviously, making movies, you appreciate the art of films. Are you still a cinema goer, or are you someone who doesn't go to the movies anymore?
I do like when I have time. I'd love to go to the cinema because, to be honest, it's more for the smell. I just love the smell. That smell of popcorn, going in and just sitting there and watching a movie on the big screen. It's great. I don't know if I would call myself like a what are they called? Like cinephiles? Is that the right? Yeah, I don't know if I'm that into it because I think I get more excitement making movies than I do watching them. But I love watching them to feel something. Do you know what I mean? And it inspires me.
Yeah.
But I think since making movies, I definitely come from a standpoint now of watching or analyzing them more and going, oh, okay, did they, all the way down to the script, going like, okay, why didn't I enjoy that? That's probably a script thing then, because learning to understand what works in a good script and what doesn't work and where the structures are, because it's kind of annoying in a way. It can kind of take you out of the movie watching experience. But I do love a good movie still. The last movie I saw in the cinema was Evil Dead Rise. Me and Sam went to go and see that.
Nice.
Which was
that
fun.
was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It was good actually. Yeah, it was good. Did you watch Oppenheimer or Barbie?
I haven't seen either yet, and I'm shocked that I haven't. I want to see them both. Just haven't had a chance to. Are they good?
Well, from a director standpoint, they're both actually really good. I don't think Barbie's a good film. I think it looks great. For the just the design of it looks amazing, bringing Barbie to life. But Oppenheimer is a must watch for a director. There's no two ways about it.
I will definitely be watching both of them for sure. I can't believe I haven't got around to it yet.
Yeah, that's all right. There's plenty of time. You don't have to watch them. About 50 million other people did, so it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It was the busiest. It was the busiest I've seen the cinema since Avengers Endgame, which was like considered to be like the last blockbuster before COVID, basically. But like, I hadn't seen the cinema this busy until then, and it was like the old days where the cinema was just rammed full of people. It was amazing for someone who goes to cinema all the time like me. It was a great experience to see so many people appreciating films like together.
See, those were the days, man. I do miss that. You know, when it was like you go to the cinema, you know that there's going to be loads of people there. You know that you're going to share that experience with 300 other people or 100 other people, whatever. But now it's just you go and you know you're going to be sat there with 3 others and you have to sit there. You have to go in and you know that it's going to be really awkward because there's you and then there's like 2 more people like in the row in front of you, and you sort of just sit in silence and whisper to each other because for some reason people are too courteous and you think that, well, I can't be loud in the cinema even though the film hasn't started yet and there's 2 more people in here. It makes it more awkward. Do you know what I mean? Like the magic of going to the cinema has gone. I went to see The Black Phone. Do you remember that? It came out like I think 2 years now.
I heard that was all right actually.
Yeah, or no, was it? It's about it just over a year ago. I think it was near Christmas 2022. I went to the movies to see that just on my own, and it was just me in the cinema on my own.
No way.
Literally,
I've never had that before.
I hadn't until that day. But it was awesome, man. It was really cool. But at the same time, I was like, well, 1, I wish I had some friends with me, and 2, I wish there were other people here as well, because it does create that experience of just being in the cinema with loads of people and going, ooh,
Yeah.
that was good, or that was shit.
That's quite a rare achievement because, one, it probably doesn't happen very often, and two, not many people probably go on their own or have the balls to go on their own.
Yeah, true. That's true. That's great, though.
It was
just
good.
there by yourself.
Yeah, man. It's just
That is
vibing.
insane.
You know, no one's stealing my popcorn. Just sitting there, got my feet on the backrest of the seat in front of me, just watching Ethan Hawke do his thing. Man, it was great.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I probably would go to the cinema on my own if there was something I wanted to watch enough. What about you, Simon?
Oh, I've been quite a few times on when I used to live in Harrow, and it was the cinema was in walking distance. So I actually, I went a couple of times in Cheltenham by myself.
Go to the cinema alone, Adam. You will enjoy it. It's good. There's a new movie out right now called The Man with the 12-Foot Tit. It's really good, man. Really good.
I don't know if that
it's about his
sarcastic or not.
No, it's great, man. It's really good, and it's written really well because he works in a luggage shop, so he's used to carrying heavy things, and he creates a handle. It's very scary. It's very frightening, spooky.
Yeah. It's got a twist as well.
Nice.
It's got
The movie or his tit?
Both. He's got a twist, and there's a twist. It's made by M. Night Shyamalan's next door neighbour's friend, so it's going to be good.
Yeah, definitely. Wasn't her name Raisin or something?
Raisin.
Yeah.
That was a given name.
Raisin Mammary.
Raisin Mammary. So that's why she come up with. She's obsessed with the last name.
Yeah, man. So it's a good movie. Like, there's a scene where he just walks across the road. Oh, you got to watch it, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's the end of that conversation.
All right. Yeah, we're not going to keep you for too much longer, Adam. Thank you for coming on. Again, it's been really cool. Like I said, it's been a long time since last time. Anybody who hasn't listened to that episode, go back and check it out. The episode is called Episode 4. Four cans of cider and an Adam Leader, I think it was, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
that's
right.
Yeah. And just to give a bit of a preview, or give you more of an incentive to go and listen to it. Adam tells us about his experience playing Download in 2018, was it? 2016.
16.
But you played Download France in 2018, didn't you?
Yeah.
And loads of other cool stuff in that episode. So yeah, go back and check it out if you haven't already. It was really cool. Adam, do you want to do all the plugs and all that sort of stuff? Well, before we do plugs, got any shout outs you want to give?
Oh man, loads. Shout out to the rest of the boys in the band: Dave, Faz, Sean, and Rory. Shout out to everyone involved in the making of our new batshit crazy music video, which people undoubtedly will see soon and probably hate, but so that's the rest of the band: Loki Films, Sean Hodson, Dean Addison, Summer Toms, and Samantha Loxley. It's an amazing team of people, and we really did. When you stop giving a fuck, you really do create magic. It was great. Yeah, man, that's it, man. Like everyone in the industry, Harry White, Hammer Down All In, Hammer Down Festival, Scarlet Riot, Celine Dion, everybody.
Awesome. That was
it's
probably one of the first times anyone's ever shouted out Celine Dion, probably.
Definitely.
She's an important person.
Cool. And right, it's plug time. Do you want to plug the band, where people can find you, and everything else to do with the tour that's coming up?
Yes. So we are heading out on our first ever headline tour this coming May. It starts on May the 3rd in Glasgow. Then we're heading to Leeds, Manchester, Nottingham, Birmingham, Bristol, Cardiff, and then finishing up in London. Tickets are on sale now at insearchofsun.com. And we've got the amazing Weller and Meringue supporting us. So get your tickets. They are surprisingly selling fast, which is really nice and unexpected as well. So and then we've got some big plans that we can't announce, but we will be announcing for the latter part of 2024. So stay tuned. But yeah, insearchofsun.com, get tickets.
Do it.
Nice.
It. Yeah, definitely go. We can vouch that they are incredible live. I will probably be going to the Bristol show as well as Adam, I'm sure, because that's the closest one to us. But yeah,
amazing.
It's going to be
Thanks.
awesome. So we're really looking forward to going.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely.
Also, provided everyone has listened to the entire discography of the Dear Download podcast, make sure afterwards that not only do you follow Adam and Simon on their socials, but also go to a local cinema, support local movie businesses, go and watch The Man with the 12-foot tit. Go and watch it.
Yeah.
Go see it, man. Support local businesses.
I agree. Don't go to Costa. Go to Starbucks. That's your local one. You've got to keep the Starbucks. They're a really small chain. Make sure you go to Starbucks to get your coffee, people.
And wear shin pads. That's it. Just wear shin pads.
Okay, that just sounded like the was it Baz Luhrmann sunscreen song? It just randomly sounded like you were going to go into something like that. Wear shin pads. You could cover that song, but wear shin pads instead of wear sunscreen. Because people have forgotten about that song already. Anyway, was it Baz Luhrmann? I can't remember who it was.
I don't
remember. Anyway, never mind. Right, we are going to let Adam go. We are going to go as well. But before we do that, we have to say a huge thank you to our Patreon supporters: James Harrison, Alexander Toon, Dan Jacobs-Cross, Dean Delicado, George Butler, Christopher Hambridge, Henry Richardson, Ben Saccone, and Scott Seagers. Thank you so much for supporting us. You guys are absolute legends. If anybody else wants to support us on Patreon, you can do. You can find a link in the episode description. There will be a Linktree in there. If you click on that, you will find links to everything you could ever need for us. The Patreon, like I said, but all social media sites, etc. We have a £3 tier and a £5 tier. Both tiers are just support tiers at the moment. If you join at the £3 tier, we'll say a massive thank you to you in the next episode. If you join the £5 tier, we'll say a massive thank you to you in every episode. And of course, everything we make will go back into the podcast to make it bigger and better for the future. But that's it. Yeah, that's it for this episode. So it's a goodbye from Simon.
Goodbye.
A goodbye from Leader.
Goodbye.
And a goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Goodbye.